Good evening. My name is John Swanson. The mayor has another commitment tonight, so I will be sitting in for him for today, March 26, 2024, regular school committee meeting. Sorry for our late start. We had a budgetary meeting this evening, and then an executive session right before this, so apologize. Today is March 26th. We are broadcast on the Peabody Access Television. We're being recorded by our Public Recording Secretary, Laura Boa, and we will have the opportunity for the public to participate via our Zoom session, which can be found at the Peabody Public Schools webpage. And I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:22. So today we have some guests, so if y'all don't mind, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by our center school, and then if you do a moment of silence, if you'd like to. Anyone want to speak about them? So in tonight's moment of silence, we'd like to recognize Mr. Tom Higgins from our high school. If there's no objection, we'd like to start out of order with a superintendent's report and the presentation from the center school.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. I'd like to welcome our center school students who have a wonderful presentation for us. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Almeida and Mr. Fernari and their team.
Thank you for having us here tonight. We're excited to share the Center School Culture Club with you. I want to first introduce who I have with us here tonight, Mr. Fernari. Mrs. Henderson and Mrs. Coppolis are two of our ML teachers, and then we have Giovanna and Isadora, former Center School students who are now 6th graders at the Higgins. We also have Gabriel, Giovanna, Julia, Livia, Maria, and Maria here with us tonight.
Our goals for the Culture Club.
The objective for our first year of Culture Club was to allow students to explore their cultures as well as their peers' cultures through academic discourse. In continuation, we created the opportunity for students to express their learning through writing and art, which was then published into a book. Students learned new vocabulary, such as the word monument, read some books about famous people from their respective countries, like Malala Yousafzai, and watched videos about famous landforms, such as the Pakistan Monument.
Ms. Kopelis and I saw how enthusiastic, engaged, and motivated the students were to learn about each week's country, especially the fifth graders. Therefore, we asked the fifth grade students to gather resources and teach the students about where they are from. I would like to introduce you to the now sixth graders, Isadora and Giovanna, to share about their experiences teaching their peers about Brazil during last year's Culture Club.
I like teaching the class. This was my first time teaching a class. It was also my first time presenting in English. I taught the kids about the Christ the Redeemer statue, then we drew it as a group.
We talked about the different desserts from Brazil. The one I liked the best was brigadeiro. It was chocolate pastries with sprinkles. Teaching the group, I was shy at first, but it was a good time.
All right. Since we had some students from last year continuing to join us for Culture Club this year, we decided to change how the students express their understanding in the final product. This year we decided to focus on the visual or performing arts of one country for 2 weeks at a time. As seen on the slides, we chose to learn about different countries than the year one, which included Guatemala with Guatemalan weaving, Ireland with Irish step dancing, China with Chinese lanterns, and Native Americans with Navajo clay pottery.
Each week, the students are greeted with a slideshow in which they are warmed up with an icebreaker. They learn and apply new vocabulary words, go on virtual field trips through YouTube, read authentic children's books, and then engage in hands-on learning through a craft. For example, when we learned about Guatemala, the students virtually traveled there, learned new words like loom and pattern, as well as words in Spanish such as abuela and esperanza, read an award-winning children's book, Abuela's Weave, and participated in 2 crafts. The first craft we did was creating a weave through translucent colored vellum paper in which the students cut their favorite animals. Then the students weaved their own hair clips, which they kept as a souvenir of Culture Club. Some of them are wearing them today.
All right. As luck would have it, we had 2 weeks that fell near St. Patrick's Day. We decided to include activities related to Irish culture, specifically Irish dancing. I happen to have been an Irish dancer as a child, and I wanted to share some of the dancing with the students. I taught them many of the basic steps they would need to know for social Irish dancing. They learned how to skip, dance a basic dance step to real music, and how to do common dance moves used in social Irish dance called the 7s and 3s. And you can see them up there. They were wonderful, fast learners.
Miss Almeida did it too.
That's right. Mrs. Dunnos. Ooh, cool.
We added that cool holographic.
Yeah, sure. To start our group, we used Worldle, an online guess the country game where they saw the silhouette of the country and had to try to guess it. Every session, we allowed the students to take guesses and make predictions about which country was being presented on the Promethean board. Oh, there it is. The students used maps and globes to support their educated guesses, and then Worldle, it's hard to say, had the students guess the neighboring countries.
Culture Club wouldn't be anything without our amazing students. Ms. Henrishon and I learned so much from them and where they are from every day. So I would like to welcome Maria Luisa to speak about her experience in Culture Club.
I loved making the Chinese lanterns yesterday. I also loved being the teacher and helping the youngest students.
Miss Livia?
For me, I really like the weaving the hair clips. It was really fun and I learned it quick. I was able to help the other kids too.
Giovanna?
I love the Irish dancing for St. Patrick's Day. We did it in a circle, and Miss Almeida did it too.
Gabriel?
I liked weaving the dragon with gold and blue paper.
Marialis?
We got to learn about different stuff like different countries and people. We got to do fun activities with Mrs. Harrison and Mrs. Coppolis.
And Julia, our youngest, in first grade.
Oh, wait.
I like the pirate dance.
The conclusion of our presentation. Thank you so very much for
Thank you, everyone.
allowing us to have this club.
Thank you very much, and an awesome presentation. Open it up to the school committee. Any questions? Mr. Miko.
Thank you, through the chair. No questions. I just want to say how special the center school is to me and my family. Both my son and daughter went to the center school. Now they're both in high school. So it happens fast. But the center school has always been very special, and I'm so glad that you are learning about different cultures and different ways of what people believe in. I think that's important. Peabody has always been very rich in different cultures over the years, and will always be welcoming to all people from all over the world who come here and will be educated here and then give back to the community. And hopefully you'll be sitting in one of these seats someday, or maybe even the mayor's seat someday. But thank you for doing this. It's so important, and thank you to the great staff and leadership at the center. It's a very, very special place for many of us, so thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Miko. Anybody else? Mr. Hockman. Well said, Ms. Hockman. Ms. Dunn?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all. This was really interesting. What a fun club. I think this is wonderful. I could tell you were all having fun and you're learning things. I am really impressed that not only are you learning to identify countries by the shape, but you can name the neighbors. That's even harder. So this is really wonderful, the work you're doing and all of the things you're learning. Are you all having a good time? I can tell. I can tell. This was a lovely presentation. Now, in September, one of the big events in Peabody is the International Festival. Do you think you'll be able to go and enjoy that and eat food from all the different countries and cultures that are represented there?
should. It's really fun.
Yeah, it really is a nice thing. So you'll be able to enjoy another part of culture and be able to share with your friends what you try from another country or, from someone who's from someplace else all around the world. So you're learning a really great skill, which is to listen to people from other countries and learn from them. And it makes all of us that much better. So I'm glad to have you here. It was fun to hear what you had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Dunn. Did you? Sure.
So I just want to say congratulations on an amazing presentation. Our students always make us proud. You guys did a great job. And I wanted to thank the families for being here as well, including our siblings who came out to support their older siblings. So you kids make us proud every day, and we're just so fortunate to have you here and the wonderful staff at the center school. So I think it's time for a photo. So maybe we can have the kids come in front and we'll take a picture, and the adults will stand behind them. We'll get a quick picture, and then I think it's time for some of our friends over here to go to bed.
All right. So we're going to continue on to the regular agenda. Before I do so, in my rush to kick off the meeting, I forgot to introduce Sophia Dixon, who's joining us tonight. She's going to represent the school committee and participate with us on next Thursdays. Thank you. Thursdays, Student Government Day. Next Thursday, yes. So appreciate you coming and thank you for participating today. Absolutely. All right, back to the regular agenda. Could I hear a motion to accept the March 12th, 2024 regular school committee meeting minutes?
Motion to receive and approve.
Second.
Heard the motion made by Mrs. Dunn, seconded by Mr. Amico. On the motion, roll call.
Mr. Hockman.
Say yes.
Yeah.
When they get to me.
Mrs. Dunn.
Yes.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Amico.
Yes.
Excellent. I don't know if I heard you on that one.
Test.
So we're having some microphone issues today. All right, approval of bills. Hear a motion to accept and approve warrant 56545.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve warrant number 5645 in the amount of $50,718.55, subject to audit.
Second.
Heard the motion made by Mr. Miko, seconded by Mrs. Carpenter. On the motion, roll call vote.
Mr. Hockman.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn.
Yes.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Miko.
Yes. A motion for warrant number 5648 in the amount of $1,009,805.83, subject to audit.
Second.
Excellent, thank you. You heard the motion for warrant 5648, made by Mr. Miko, seconded by Mrs. Carpenter. On the motion? None? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hockman.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn.
Yes.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Miko.
Yes.
Excellent, thank you.
Congratulations, Sophia. You just spent $1 million.
Excellent, thank you. On to continued business. Mrs. Dunn, Welch School MSBA project?
I have nothing to report. Everything is moving right along. Everything will be going back into a very active status in a couple of weeks, but as of tonight was status quo, which is good.
That's awesome news. Excellent job. And we all appreciate, as well as the city, for all your efforts in driving this forward. Thank you very much. I'm Betty's glad to be wrapping that one up as well. Excellent. Excellent. All right, returning to the superintendent's report, Dr. Vidala.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. Just two more items on tonight's superintendent report. First one is school choice. So each year under the laws of the Commonwealth, we bring up school choice on the floor, and the law is that each city or town or regional school district shall enroll non-resident students at the school, such as the non-resident student choice, provided, however, that the such receiving district has seats available. So each year we bring this up. It does not require a vote if we would like to continue school choice. However, if we wanted to discontinue school choice, we could make a motion and take up a vote. Each year we receive revenue. For FY25 on the most recent cherry sheets that we've seen, our receiving tuition will be $390,492. Our sending tuition this year will be $430,341. So it's usually about a wash. It's pretty even. This year skewed a little bit. We're anticipating that there'll be a little bit less seats next year at the younger grades with the center school. We want to be a little bit conservative with that. However, we would anticipate bringing students in where we can. And of course, this opens up for our ability to welcome in students of our faculty in our teachers' contract. They're allowed to enroll their students via school choice. So any questions?
Any questions regarding school choice, Dr. Vidala? Thank you.
So if there's nothing opposed, we will continue with that. And then the final update is an update on professional development, some of the highlights. We had a wonderful professional day on Friday, March 17th, 18th, 16th, 15th. Whoa. Thank you, Mr. Hockman. On Friday, March 15th, we had a wonderful professional development day where we had students here at the Higgins, teachers here at the Higgins and at the high school. We have some highlights of some of the wonderful things we're doing. I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Chase and her team for putting on an amazing program. And it was really a good chance for people to meet, to collaborate with their colleagues, and really get some good work done for this final push of the third trimester. And for the high school and middle school, the third quarter ends on Thursday, so we're entering into that fourth quarter. So it's really coming to an end for our seniors who have some great activities. But I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Chase. She's got some highlights from some of the great PD work that we've done.
Thank you. So up on the screen we have one small slide, but it really encompasses a huge thank you to all of the people that come together to make professional development happen. Behind the scenes, before we even get to the day, there's a ton of planning that goes on, and that falls upon the bulk of the work falls upon the directors to interact with vendors, to create sessions if they're teaching their own sessions, to do things like voiceovers when they can't be in every place at once, to making it all come together and all those moving parts fit together, and even simple things like assigning rooms when you're dealing with such a large group of people takes a whole lot of effort. So up on the screen you see a bunch of bullet points, and those are a sample of the many offerings that happened during that professional development day. So everything from compliance stuff related to special education, to suicide prevention training, to ELE work with Confianza, who does coaching with our ELE teachers. And then at the high school, for example, we have the Bar Foundation grant, and that was an opportunity for the entire school to be together for the day and be working on that Bar Foundation work together. So aside from the folks that are behind the scenes planning the sessions, we also have a whole slew of helpers on that day. So you have principals and assistant principals who are running around to help direct the flow of traffic within the schools. You have them helping facilitating discussions among grade level teams. And of course, you also have a large group of teachers who come with an open mind and a willingness to share. So we're grateful for that as well. To top off the day, we had PEF come in, and they left us off with a sweet treat for the weekend with ice cream sundaes for all. So not only were teachers looking forward to that, but even our presenters were like, what, you have sundaes? This is the best day ever. So we were able to have a great time with the presenters as well, and look forward to that at the end of the day. So just a huge thank you for everyone who comes together to make that a successful day. It looks like it's one day on paper. It's a ton of work behind the scenes, so we really appreciate all the work that's been done.
Go ahead.
Mrs. Dunn.
Dr. Chase, I just wanted to let you know, and I want to put it in the record, for many years our staff were just so frustrated with professional development. I guess that's speaking for many of them. And now our staff constantly compliment the professional development, and they want more. And that is such a compliment to you and your staff and your planning. The people are really enjoying your professional development, and I wanted to let you know, and I wanted to let the public know. Thank you for all that you're doing on professional development.
And I'd just like to thank the committee as well for supporting all of the work that we're doing. A lot of this, bringing in these great presenters, it costs some money, but it's an investment in our teachers and in our staff. And I think, as Mrs. Dunn said, they appreciate it and they feel valued as professionals. And I think the money is well spent. And as we look ahead, the next slide of the things that we're doing, a lot of the implementation of that new curriculum. And again, our staff members feel valued, bringing in state-of-the-art curriculum and really giving our students the best. And so we have a number of grants that we're pursuing to fund some of those things, and it's really been a great work. And you'll see some of the things like highlighting the civics grant and the Holocaust and genocide grant, as well as investigating history. That's really developing a well-rounded student, and a lot of the things in the discussions that come up here at the committee meetings, we really like to live that in our education and see that coming through our students. So it's nice to see a student here tonight as well. But you see, they're really digging into some meaty topics, and it's great to see. So we're really excited about next year. And with that concludes the superintendent's report for this evening.
Thank you very much. Before we move on, I'd like to thank you all as well. And it's impressive as you look at that list that was originally there. I think the word professional development is obviously something that when you're a new teacher, you go, oh, I got to get into this. But as you've heard from Mrs. Dunn and others here, you're making it interesting. You're investing in our teachers and helping them be better for our students. So much appreciation goes to you and your staff. Thank you very much.
It's a great team, and they really do listen to what folks say. So whether it's the good, the bad, or the ugly, they're always trying to embrace that growth mindset and do better the next time, the next time, the next time. So thank you.
That speaks a lot to you, Dr. Vidal, the way you've set your structures up, and as well. So again, thank you to everybody that's participating in these, and thank you for the teachers that are coming to this open-minded as well. It means a lot to all of us and helps out our students as well. So thank you very much. On to public participation. Seeing nobody in the library here. Anybody online?
Seeing none.
All right. Written communications. We have a letter from Camille Bartlett, Executive Director of PAT, regarding the 10-year.
Motion to receive.
Second.
Excellent. Heard the motion from Mr. Hockman, seconded by Mrs. Dunn on the motion. Any objections? No objections? Roll. That's a vote. All right, subcommittee.
All right.
Education Subcommittee.
Thank you. Through the chair, I wanted to bring up a couple of items. The first thing is where it's in the Education Subcommittee, Dr. Chase provided us earlier during our budget session of some of the great things that work in our schools in regards to instruction and PD, and then we just had that as well a couple of minutes ago. So again, thank you to Dr. Chase and her team for all that. Under Subcommittee of Education, I wanted to put up there DECA. Now, DECA is a class, it's an organization, and I'll just read quickly here. DECA prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs for careers in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management in high schools and colleges around the globe. I'll be honest with you, about 4 years ago, I didn't know what DECA was. And some people don't when I say DECA. They're like, what is that? Well, it really helps high school students find where they are, build their enthusiasm for marketing, finance, hospitality, business. And these students, we've had students over the years who have gone to the state finals in Boston and have basically presented their findings in with their groups and teammates. And I just want to make sure that this is such a great organization that honestly I didn't even know existed a few years ago. I probably should have. But I've seen it up close, and I had a nice conversation with Dr. Vidala this week. And DECA is so important that I think, especially where we're looking at a new business program within our CTE, that we really need to focus on this because it's an important way to bring students together and really pull out their skills in leadership. And anyone who's gone through it really loves it. And I believe it was in early March that our students presented at the States in Boston, and they were high schools from all over the state. They were colleges and universities from all over the state that just showed up just to watch the performances because, as I said, these are emerging leaders, and if you're a college or university, you want to be there when these kids are presenting. So I had a great conversation with Dr. Vidala, and he assured me that DECA is going to thrive, and it's really important, and it's something that is really Peabody. A lot of our Peabody kids really enjoy it, so I appreciate that. So I just wanted to make note of that during our education sub-report. The second thing, through the chair, Sophia's graduating class of 2024, we were going to have a spaghetti dinner on March 23rd, and I'll tell you, about a month before that, we shifted direction and we decided not to have it because there were so many different events going on that weekend. We had girls lacrosse in Lexington playing in the pouring rain for 4 hours. We had, of course, I know our chair tonight will be speaking on another event that happened in Boston. So we decided, a whole group of parents and teachers, Mr. Donovan and Ms. Cord, that we would not have the spaghetti dinner, and instead we would do a senior class raffle. And we've had some great parents, students, and staff put together this raffle. It's a calendar raffle, and it will offset funds for the prom buses, the activities, the prom, and it's very expensive for kids. You know, these are high school seniors who are, most of them are working, most of them are trying to save up for whether it's a car or whether it's school in the future. So it's important that this whole community just rallies behind these kids, and if you can, go on social media, you'll be able to see it, the senior class raffle. Buy a couple of tickets. There's some great prizes. And a big thank you to a bunch of local businesses who just always donate whenever we call. And that's one of the great things about our community is we can always count on, it's not even a, should I call, and some people calling us saying, you should have called me. Why? And you feel bad because you call the same businesses over and over, but they want to donate. They want to give back to our kids. So I just wanted to put that out there that it's a group effort. Staff, students, parents, our local merchants, some just great, generous people who are donating all sorts of gifts to this class calendar, and we're going to try to raise as much money as we can for these kids because they deserve it. Other than that, that'll be it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miko. Just to follow up on you, the costs that they raise offset prom tickets. They offset the luau festivities that the students have throughout the year, and this is a tradition that the students raise money every year to help offset. As we raise money, as we know we have a large demographic differences in our city, it's going to help those that might be a little more challenged that couldn't go to the prom. It's also going to help everybody be more equity to go to that prom by raising these funds, as well as the luau is offsetting all these other costs and make sure that the class can participate in these events together. So to all those that helped and donated, thank you very much. To those that have on the fence about buying into these calendars, it's going to a great cause and helping out our city and all of our students as a whole. So please help out. Thank you. All right, with that, Finance Subcommittee, Mr. Olympio is not here. School Safety Subcommittee, that's Mr. Olympio, not here. Athletics and Wellness.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm feeling as if maybe I shouldn't be speaking tonight at all. I don't know. No. The girls hockey program is a cooperative with Peabody, Linfield, and North Reading, and we have two recipients from that team. One is a Peabody student, Ava Buckley, who was also, I think, the player of the year for the conference, and she plays center. And our goalie, Elise Moody, who is from North Reading, is a junior, who broke already as a junior, I think, broke the number of shutouts for a career, and she has a year left with us. Moving on, I am going to recognize one of our own because I have a lot of affection for him, and he's a great guy. Manny Costa, who doesn't coach for Peabody but coaches for another high school, is being recognized as Coach of the Year for wrestling. Boys track, our own Freddie Braz is the Coach of the Year, and Alex Jackson, our national All-American, is being recognized. And then girls track, Kira Buckley, who's a senior here at Peabody. Boys swimming, Theo Roan, and the boys swimming program is a cooperative with Essex Tech. And that rounds out all of those award winners. So I just wanted to recognize them and congratulate them, and especially in the coaches as well. In addition to that, tonight is or was the parents meeting for spring sports. So spring sports will be starting very soon. I know the baseball program had a successful trip to Cape Cod. We all approved that trip, and they're getting underway. So hopefully the spring sports are as successful as the winter sports.
Thank you, Mr. Hockman, and congratulations to all those winners, and congratulations to our teams as a whole. They're phenomenal. Quality and standards, Mrs. Dunn.
Thank you. Nothing to report this evening.
Excellent. A liaison to parent and student advisory boards.
The Parent Advisory Board meeting will be taking place tomorrow night at 7 p.m. here at the Higgins, and the topics to be discussed will be an explanation of the budget process, a discussion about PTO sponsorship of film events, and whether they need an entertainment license or not. And then concern that they've brought forward about libraries in the school. So those are the three of the agenda items that we'll discuss tomorrow night.
Thank you very much. Some interesting topics there. All right, buildings and grounds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the superintendent has some information for us. And I'll make a motion to receive.
Second.
Heard the motion to receive the facilities repair for fiscal year 2024, made by Mr. Hockman, seconded by Ms. Dixon. Sorry. You all heard the motion on the motion? That's a vote.
So I'll, if I can, through you, Chairman, to Dr. Vidal, if you want to go through this.
Yeah, so this is just a list of the items that, as you know, we've had $400,000 put in to the maintenance line. 150 of that was covered by the city. So Jim Hafey and his team put together $150,000 worth of repairs and facilities updates. These additional items here were out of the school side, totaling $251,603.87. So we had a serving line at the Welch, some preventative maintenance in the food service department. We have the chiller project for the engineering. The majority, that's an $809,000 project. However, it's almost $900,000, but the $809 was secured by an IVAC grant that Sam Rippon worked on very, very diligently with Dan Doucette and Jim Hafey. So the chillers that are going in at the high school and the Carroll School are funded mostly out of that grant. We upgraded the PA system at the Brown Elementary School. We had the cabling project here with PATV here at the Higgins. We did some flooring in the vocational programs, and then we did the auditorium lights at the high school, as well as some main office repairs. And the most recent thing we're doing is upgrading the domestic water heaters at the high school. So all of that was captured in this allocation, so we appreciate the committee's support of this allocation. I know that Mr. Hockman had really fought hard to keep this in there, so we were able to do some of these proactive and preventative maintenance things, or things that came up, we're able to get them done quickly because we had an allocation and a line item for them. Mr. Hockman?
Yep. Thank you, through the chair. Thank you, Dr. Vidala. And do you know whether or not, and maybe Mr. Rippon's the proper person to ask, I don't know, through the chair to whomever has the information, the additional $150,000 or so that's coming out of the city side of the budget for maintenance or repairs to school buildings, do we have a breakdown on that allocation?
Not at this time, but
Okay.
not at this time, but Mr. Hafey is well aware that we're looking for this and is in the process of compiling that list. My understanding is those funds have also been expended, but I don't have the specific details right at this moment.
Yeah. I know some work was done at the South School. We had new door replacements at the South School. We had a hot water heater put in, and I believe there are some other allocations, but we'll get the itemized for the committee.
Thank you. I think it's already been expended as well and on necessary repairs and maintenance. So I appreciate that. If we can get that list, you know, by the end of April, the second April meeting, probably be fine. You know, I know people are busy this time of year, just so that we can just have a visual and be able to identify projects that were actually, you know, that were worked on with this allocation. And it's amazing. I remember when we worked on the budget last spring, and when I brought up $400,000 to allocate for maintenance and repairs, and there was a little pushback, not on the concept but on the number, because it's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money, right? It's a short list. It's not a lot of money. There's, you know, we have aging buildings, and we need to put some funds into them to make sure that kids and staff and everybody else that utilizes our buildings have safe and adequate space to do things. So thank you for giving us this allocation. I didn't look in the budget yet to see if there's $400,000 allocated. I think there is, and I'll fight. Will fight again, I think, to try to keep that in there this year. But in any event. Building and Grounds did also have a meeting yesterday. During that meeting, we talked about a host of items, including with less detail, the repairs that were made with the allocation that was made in the budget for this fiscal year, the current fiscal year. We talked about the structure of maintenance staff and custodians. I think we're going to continue to talk about that and hopefully have in the near future, I don't know when, but in the near future, hopefully have something more concrete to report out about that subject. So, and I think we have a meeting scheduled April 8th at 9:45 in the morning in City Hall. I think it's in the mayor's conference room.
Thank you, Mr. Hockman. All right. Special Education Parent Advisory, Mr. Olympio is not here. Liaison to City Council.
Nothing to report.
All right. Redistricting Ad Hoc. Report.
No report.
Performing Arts, I do have an update. As y'all might have seen in the emails and the publicity that is out, Peabody Veterans Memorial High School Stage 1 has again been named a state champion for Drama Fest. For those that were able to attend one of this was another phenomenal performance, stage set, and production. It's at many levels that our students participate, from building the stages, that is interactive, the lighting, the music, the theatrics, the choreography is all finalized and participated by our students. And again, for the second year in a row, they've come out as our state champions. So it's something to be very proud of. And those that are there, that are, again, as I always say, on the fence about going here or somewhere else, look at the big picture for what we offer. That this team, Miss Manning has done another phenomenal job with her students. The students have done well. Ms. Dixon is part of that production as well, so thank you and congratulations to that as well. So, with that, another quick update from Mr. Simmons. They have a quiet weekend this week. He gave them this week off, Easter weekend. He's letting them off, and then for the following week, there'll be chorale and wind ensemble will be participating with the Massachusetts Instrumental and Choral Conductors Association in Westboro and Danvers. Will be participating with other students throughout the state. So again, another great exposure for our students, another great experience for our students as they go out. So with that, any new business for the agenda?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have one before that. Sorry, I apologize. As I mentioned earlier, Thursday is Student Government Day. Please, we're going to be week from Thursday. Not yes, the 4th is Student Government Day. We'll be meeting at 9 a.m. at the Wigan Auditorium, participating in the day, and then we have our school committee and city council meetings in the afternoon. I'm going to put it out there for a challenge to our school committee members. The city council has a scholarship that they donate into. Ours in the past has been lumped in with everybody else. I'd like to see if we can raise enough that we can be a standalone scholarship for the students that are participating in the day. I would like to challenge you guys all to help with that as well. And with that, any new items for the agenda can be forwarded to Dr. Vidala and the mayor. Sorry, Ms. Dunn.
Don't worry, it's not a new item, but I just wanted to tell you, for the drama win at the States, which is absolutely phenomenal, and I mean everyone has been posting on it, and you can seeing it on Facebook. This was just really kind of ironic. You know how memories will pop up. 2012, they won. Same day.
Oh, really?
And it was so ironic to see that, and just to know how good our performers are year after year. But it was really something to see that pop up, because at first I thought, wait a minute, and they've done well. This year is huge, but they really have a big tradition.
They do. Our performing arts department is, by no exaggeration, award-winning.
It is. It really
at all
is.
levels. So,
yeah.
If I may
Mr. Miko,
quickly, and
absolutely.
that's one of the reasons. Sorry, that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why we canceled the spaghetti dinner, because don't make plans on the third Saturday of March. It's like the old Super Bowl. Remember when you didn't make plans on that Super Bowl Sunday because you knew the Patriots were going to be there? Well, we know that our kids are going to be there, so don't make plans on the third Saturday in March.
Agreed. We should make that a policy. A city bylaw. All right, anybody else before we adjourn? We had a motion to adjourn. Mr. Ockman? Thank you very much.
And thank you, Sophia.
Thank you. Me. Oh my God.